for those that were in the later heat races to turn these cars around, give them every opportunity to make it out. And I just can't quite make out who we're missing at the moment.
I was thinking that myself. To plough through the paperwork.
It'll be the VA14, I believe. So Michael Wicks is who we're waiting on in that beautiful EL Falcon for Midnight Fabrication. He's due to start from position number 4 in tonight's B-Main as the pit gate remains open. We wait and see if the Wicks racing team can turn around that car. Remember, he was involved in that scuffle.
Oh, Jared, the gate's getting closed.
Oh,
that's a tough break for those boys. They've worked so hard to get those 2 cars turned out for this event, and the pit gate closing over will signal no 14 of Wicks. We can just pray now that we still see the Brad Wicks number 17. There should be nothing wrong with that car. And we should see Brad up on the hammer of the V17. That is a tough break for Michael Wicks and the Midnight Fabrications. Wicks Transport Team. Yellow lights are out, ladies and gentlemen. What a field we have for B-Main number 1. Down the back straightaway, it's Rocket Rodney Pimenta. On the inside of Speedway Australia, rising star Alex Sweeney. Back to Matt Gerlach, Zach Swanson, Scotty Angus. Paul on the outside. Boyle, Young, Clark and Mortimer. That's a belter top 8. Let's rock this B-Main number 1. Pimenta leads into 1. It's an epic field that followed. Our first main event of the weekend for the National Modified Sedan title. There's panels flying off, cars everywhere. Coming to turn 2. Pimenta's going to lead the opening lap from Alex Sweeney and Matt Gerlach. Gerlach now puts a big move on Sweeney up to P2. The Octane Alley Performance 14 has a big push, but he continues on in position number 2. Alex Sweeney has that final transfer spot in the Queensland 108.
Yeah, Sweeney in the bubble spot at the moment. So we fire down the main straightaway one more time. Angus on the outside looking in. Pimenta tries the top in 1 and 2. Just a little exploratory lap for the U-Design Living. Number 8 out of Queensland. Still leading comfortably over Gerlach. Back to Sweeney. Pimenta missed the bottom a little bit that time in 3 and 4. Will lead us down the main straightaway. As we put 3 laps down with 17 to run in B-Main number 1. Sweeney has dropped back and will be under pressure from Angus, Swanson, Kevin Young and Clark. He's got a little bit of a gap back to Angus at the moment, but the front 2 have checked away here in B-Main number 1. That's exactly the start that Gerlach and Rocket Pimenta needed.
Sweeney sits in a pretty comfortable position right now. He's got open track in front and behind. But she is a fierce field of 4 cars battling for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. It's Scotty Angus from Zach Swanson, from Kev Young and Lenny Clark breathing fire from the Samescape number 8. You'd think they're battling for a transfer spot right now as Young is locked to the bottom. Clark through. Not able to make that move. Angus holding out that battle still. Sweeney in a comfortable position. We're going yellow with Hallett on the infield in the Flash V15.
Yeah, Hallett facing the crowd here on the main straightaway. Unfortunately turned around. I didn't quite get a good look at what happened.
No, and I missed it too.
And B3.
Gerlach. Sweeney had dropped back a little bit from the front too, but Scotty Angus didn't have anything for him in those first 5 laps in B-Main number 1. It was a hornet's nest behind him though. Swanson, Young, Clark, Mick Boyle and Chris Reich were all on the hammer trying to make something happen here in B-Main number 1. Top 3 will transfer. Sweeney, the last car getting in from B-Main 1 at the moment as we're set to go back green here, Liam, 15 to run.
Rocket Rodney Pimenta leads the 8 into turn 1. Gerlach is locked to that rear bumper. They just need to be smart here this top three and muster up a result, and it'll lock out that top three and not let Scott Angus have a bite in, but he's given it every chance right now in the 72. Scott Angus putting pressure on Sweeney in the 108. There's Zach Swanson, Kev Young, Landy Clark. Their race could be over in 15 laps time if they don't get a move on.
Clark, Young and Swanson all on the back half of that front battle pack. Look at the speed that Swanson closed on Scotty Angus that time. The 72 FGX Falcon Ramsdale Wreckers on the door is on the outside looking in, but he's under pressure and gets some contact from Swanson. We're going to turn him around in turns 1 and 2. And that will be a big, big decision incoming for the chief steward up here in the tower. With it all to play for in these B mains, nobody leaves anything on the line, and sometimes we overstep the mark.
Well, this will be exciting. Pimenta from Gerlach, from Sweeney, from Swanson, Young, Clark, Reich, Boyle and Garlic. We're green. The Rocket runs her into 1 and 2. Gerlach glued down. Does anyone move up high in turn 1 and 2? They don't. They're all glued to the bottom. Well, the Angus cars exchange blows now. That's a big loss for Scott Angus, who lost so much ground at the tail. Oh, Kev Young is slowed and Clark's into the side.
Oh no. And surely we'll go yellow here because everyone's coming up onto the back of the 71 at a rate of knots. We're still green so far.
Can he get it down? There's no way he's going to know he's got clear racetrack behind him.
It's scattered the field here in B main number 1, and we are going to go yellow. I thought he was going to the top of 3 and 4 for a big move. He may have just been pulling out a line as the car struck dramas. Horson slow on the main straightaway here as well. Uren took a tour by the infield. It's all happening in B main number 1, Liam.
She's a brutal one so far. Losing a few cars. Not standing the test of this race so far.
It's trying to grip and drive off something that's way more abrasive. And every time you do that, you heat the tyre up, and every time you heat the tyre up and cool it down, there's a chance you may not switch the tyre back on once you get going again. It'll be a talking point for the feature race later on, and it's probably going to be a talking point in these 20-lap B mains, Liam. Pimenta bring him in on the high line, trying to get some drive off the juicy stuff, and gets a pretty good start from Gerlach. Sweeney got a good jump from Swanson, and your front three check out as they go into turns 1 and 2 with 12 to run in B main number 1, Liam.
Pimenta into 3 and 4. He's just got to keep doing everything right the way he has so far. Matt Gerlach locked down in second. Sweeney's got the front end hopping around in the 108. And here comes Swanson. Lenny Clark has collapsed the right front. He's got damage, and Lenny Clark is infield as well, Jared. He was right up in contention. Mick Boyle now sits in position number 5. This could be monumental. Yeah, the way cars are dropping out.
Certainly still a chance for Mick Boyle here to make some forward progress. Lenny Clark was about 3 foot off the ground. He straddled the curb and got to the infield. Sweeney now on the final spot, the final transfer spot in B main number 1 under big, big pressure from Zach Swanson in the wanted heavy haulage number 15 from Victoria. The VS Commodore has eyes for the back bumper of the 108 and has 9 laps left to run to get something done. Horson goes upstairs and goes around the outside of Mick Boyle, tries to convert that into 5th spot. As Boyle's starting to struggle here now, Liam.
Yeah, it's not a good racetrack to have a flat left front tyre. We've got so many other cars that are on the infield for that exact problem, and Boyle's still muscling the VH around Heartland Raceway, Moama. Tell you who has speed is Marty Horson. Whether there's laps for him to wind down a massive deficit right now to that battle for 3rd and 4th in the transfer spot. Marty Horson has some work to do, but he's the fastest car at that back group of cars.
Horson making some progress, but he'll need a yellow here. He's working that top lane and may have something if he gets a yellow. Pimenta still leading from Gerlach, and they're comfortably at the front as Swanson now goes upstairs and looks to the outside of Alex Sweeney. The Genesis Equipment 108 is under big pressure here for the final transfer spot in B main number 1. This is for 21st starting position in tonight's 40-lap national title. Boyle retires to the infield with Mortimer. As we wind through the laps, there's 5 to run this time past the strike.
Swanson will tear Sweeney's heart out if he sees this 15 go past. They're continuing to battle away, and I'll tell you who is making ground, but probably a little too late, is still Marty Hawson. He's got the Commodore hooked up right now. Swanson having a big look on the outside of Sweeney. Sweeney's been the sitting duck all race long. Swanson and the Wandon Heavy Haulage go on the top side. Side by side they run. Swanson poking the nose. Sweeney better off the corner. Down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. There's nothing in this, Jared.
And this is for a spot in the biggest race of the year. Swanson, Sweeney, side by side down the main straightaway. And Swanson just gets the nose in front into 1 and 2. Victoria 15 on the top side. Sweeney tries to fight back on the bottom. And it looks as though Swanson may have done enough as they come to the strike and get 2 to run. Pimenta and Gerlach look home and hose from here, but it's Sweeney and Swanson battling for the final transfer spot, Liam.
That's just tough luck for Alex Sweeney. It just wasn't enough at the tail. He's not out of this one yet, but he's got 4 car lengths to Swanson. Pimenta goes around lap traffic now in Peter Angus as the white flag waves on B main number 1. Matt Gerlach's ran with him the whole way. That Octane Alley performance, B14. Zach Swanson now sits a comfortable 3rd in that final transfer place into 3 and 4 for the final time. Your B main number 1 winner is going to be Rocket Rodney Pimenta. From Matt Gerlach through for 2nd. They're coming by lap traffic again is Zach Swanson taking 3rd from Alex Sweeney. Marty Hawson, boy did he make ground. Paul in behind Hawson from Dale Hallett from Casey Garlick. Was able to get back out there after a DNF in her final heat. A piece of the bonnet coming up on the Scott Angus 72. Heartland Raceway Moama make plenty of noise from the man down from Queensland driving the Q number 8. Rocket Rodney Pimenta takes out B main number 1.
Pimenta will start from position number 17 in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. Matt Gerlach will start from position number 19. And Zach Swanson does the hard yards and he will start from position 21 in the final row in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. B main number 1 done and dusted. B main number 2 set to roll out onto the racetrack very, very soon. We'll let these drivers go straight back to the pit area and get to work on turning these cars around for the 40-lap feature race. Very, very soon. We'll take a quick commercial break for those tuning in at home, and we'll come back with B main number 2 right after this.